I don't know if I really want to go over this. This could be a really big topic. It could be something that interests you or does not interest you. But I watched the first, I think, minute and a half or 2 minutes of this. And it's about the guide system that Cloud Imperium has in Star Citizen. And the guide system's set there for primarily like players that are accustomed to the game, that know a lot about the game, players that help new players. I think the entire setup is rather sloppy. I think it could be streamlined through the game. I've talked about this numerous times, but I really have not put a lot of content on the channel that deals with this. We've talked about it on stream a lot, but we really haven't talked about it and had a great conversation on YouTube. So I kind of want to put this highlight out there. Let's watch this gentleman here. His name is Red J. And this happened a while ago. He's talking about the Foundation Festival and the guide reward bottleneck. And I really want to hear his opinions on it. I have my own. Let's listen a little bit to it.
Foundation Festival's upon us, and we finally got a taste of what it actually is. These paints are locked behind the guide system. What is the guide system? We'll go into that. But for those who already know the guide system, just rest assured, it is just as bad as it used to be. Right now, the Foundation Festival.
What's up, Orson? Welcome to the stream, bro.
Game. This one you get first. Then, if you complete,
listen, I don't think that's such a bad idea to give prizes out, but like, you know, I would say make the prizes a little bit juicier. If you're going to spend your time to be a guide, right? If you're going to spend your time to actually teach people how to play the game, which is, I think, pretty important. For player retention, I think that the level of prizes should be just a little bit higher for the incentive. That incentive bar needs to be raised. Hats is okay for if you're helping out once or twice maybe. If you're continually helping out people, we need to raise the bar. And I'm not quite sure what the system is in terms of like how they dole out prizes for people who are guides. But I'm hoping, and this also could be something that's happening right now, and I'm not aware of what the rewards are. But I'm hoping maybe ships too as well. You know, I think there needs to be more focus on people who take the time out of their day to help people get acclimated to playing Star Citizen. And I think it needs to be streamlined. I think that it needs to happen inside the mobiGlas. And I think that more things that happen inside the mobiGlas, the better. Like more actions that can help with game loops in the mobiGlas, I think, and you can see that's the way the project has steered itself the past few years, where, you know, most actions obviously going through the mobiGlas. I think the guide system should be its like own button in a way, or maybe just have like in the mission panel like guide missions. I think why aren't we attacking it that way? I think that would just make the overall experience much more smooth and might inspire people to help others to learn how to play Star Citizen. It really makes sense to me.
Game. This one you get first. Then if you complete 3 successful guide sessions, 30 minutes each, in-game, you get the gray one. And if you complete 6, you also get...
Okay, so he's explaining now here the different reward prize levels. 6, and you get the cap. You know, I don't know. I think it should be a little bit better. I think it should be a little bit juicier. I think all these hats should be with like the first or second tier, and then like juice it up. Now, Banangelos says there are rewards, unique ship skins, dragonfly, etc. So that's nice. So it's nice to get confirmation from people that are doing this in the game. I've helped people, but not in this manner. Like, I think I would be more geared towards helping people if the system was, you know, I help people all the time in the game, honestly. So it would be nice to get rewards from it, but I don't really, you know, I don't do it for the rewards. But for people that do it for the rewards, I think the system should be much more streamlined than what we have right now.
Get the cap. So 1, 3, 6. And the incredible
I don't
part
know,
about
Ash.
this is
I honestly I don't know.
Free fly.
But Angelos, do you know if you can gift them
that are 30 minutes long, and being able to get a newbie to
know.
kind of navigate to the guide system, accept you as a guide, meet you in game, and you two actually manage to link up, and then they have to come back onto the website and give them feedback.
Wow.
So if you're going to try this, be absolutely positive that the person seems like they're pretty invested in this process, and do your best you can to give them advice. The categories, like always, are split up into different sections of the guide system. Basics, vehicle combat, FPS combat, mining, missions, trading, touring, miscellaneous, refueling, medical. Now you're looking at the side thing here, and you're saying there's the names of ships there. Well, the answer is each one of these is a free paint you get if you complete 5 guide sessions in that specific category.
All right.
And remember, it has to be in. They have to accept you, chat it up, go in game, 30 minutes successfully, and then do the interaction on the website to give you a positive feedback. Now, I'd recommend doing a 35 or even a 40-minute session with them before they do that, just to make sure everything's capped off. We found during other in-game events, like the run inside Jump Town or something like that, to be recognized on the live servers, for one example, and sometimes people would only do it once and it didn't register or whatever. So I would, just to cover your bases. You don't find out until the awards are received at the end of Foundation Festival, which is on July 25. So it's from now until the July 25th. And I would say that this number is basically impossible right now. I have been in the guide queue for 2.5 hours now, and I can confidently tell you I have 0 guide work across multiple fields. Why? No, it's not because I'm terrible at the game or anything. It's because, plain and simple, it's a slot machine. It's all based on luck. The guide services are random. There's 100 different people thrown in front of the newbie, and they just pick a random one off a tiny little picture and your name. And
it's
that's
sloppy. The whole system's sloppy, is what he's saying.
It's sheer luck if you're in that 100 or not. Now, they claim that people who have large organizations and such can't...
First off, I completely agree with Noob's comment about, oh, gee, free paint, free skins, woo, woo, woo. I mean, like... It reminds me of the onboarding process in general when it comes to pledging money for the project. It's very sloppy. Like, everything's very sloppy about this. I do talk about this a lot, but I do feel like Cloud Imperium needs to streamline the entire fucking experience from start to finish. It is very confusing. It's continued to be confusing, and it seems like every time they attack it or try to attack it, that they kind of botch something up and make it even more difficult. Sometimes, I mean, there's been some things that have helped the situation, but for the most part, it's still, after all these years, a bit sloppy of an onboarding process. You know, they're having these issues when it comes to the pledging onboarding pledging system, you know, and people accustomed to playing space sims that just find Star Citizen and then say, oh, well, let me try this out. There's a process there where there could be an easy disconnect. And I've talked about it, literally. It should be starcitizen.com. Go to starcitizen.com. It should show you the things that you can pledge for. You go there, very similar to what RSI is doing right now. And it should just be easy. Like, here's your 4 ships. If you're a beginner, boom. Here's the prices, boom, right? Buy, boom, done, boom. You know, download the game, get in there, there's your ship. When you're in the game, it's a bit harder. Now, in terms of like what happens in the game, after that, it's still very disconcerting, but I kind of like that part because you have to take the time to learn everything. And it's a natural filter to take away the gamer base that really doesn't have patience or doesn't have what I call the big boy pants, right? Can't handle, to learn through playing, right? That process, you know, once you're in the game, I kind of want that to stay. I want there to be a level of difficulty there. I'm purely talking about like just the initial onboarding. Like, how do I get the ship? Where do I go? You know, that's what I'm saying. StarCitizen.com, buy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it literally needs to be that simple. And so now talking about the guide system needs to be a very simple process. It needs to happen in game, and there needs to be like a button for it, man, or something in the missions area that separates like guide missions from, you know, and have people waiting in the wings, like signing up for guide in the server on the server that you're on. A guide light comes on, and then the guides can attack it. then the guides can go, oh, somebody needs some help. I'm going to click this, boom, instantly, first come, first serve. There's your guide. There you go. Talk in game, meet up, do what you need to do, complete the mission, push accept, whatever it needs to do. It needs to be a simple, slick process. And the rewards need to be better, period. Period.
Cheese the system. They are monitoring, they say.
It's the most important part. Like this is really important for player retention, right? When people learn the game through another player, first off, that's a pretty cool experience. People remember that, you know. Secondly, after they've met somebody and they've asked for a guide and easily got the guide, that makes it really cool experience for both parties, both the person who wants to learn and the guide, right? Thirdly, after teaching this the new gamer the game, you know, having a ranking system so you know if your guide is new or older or veteran or being able to classify what the guide is, but do it all in game. Why is that important? Because it's player retention related. It keeps people playing Star Citizen, and it will keep people pledging, and it will keep revenue numbers high. So and this is why I'm talking about the onboarding process, and this is why I'm talking about the guide system. They're directly connected to one another for player retention and revenue. You know, if you have a very streamlined experience for when you first find out about Star Citizen and you can find it, buy it, download it, play it immediately, and know what it is that you're getting into. And then when you're in the game, you have a guide system and you get a player that can help you, and there's like an easy interaction there and a system in which you can look at reviews and rank the guides. Dude, you got a winning recipe to keep people playing the game for a very long time. So that is why I kind of wanted to go over this. And really, we'll keep listening, but those really are talking points I want to hear in this video. And if I don't, we'll just get to the next video.
In this monitoring, they said they're going to review these rewards by tomorrow. So if you're listening to this on Thursday night into Friday morning, be advised that these numbers hopefully will go down drastically. Because right now, the entire guide queue is queued up with guides, not people looking for instruction or help. It's filled with guides, and basically they're there to get the paints. They're there to get the in-game hats and such. Maybe they're Team Fortress 2 players. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to have anything that's exclusive in-game. I mean, of course, they're going to have some type of nod to this. And here is, once again, the paints that are in-game. And what's not seen here, you can see the MSR and the cutlasses and such have them. But what's not seen here is the 600i one, which is actually very exciting because 600i doesn't have that many paints available to it. Particularly for the touring model, is very interesting. Also interesting is that they delineate Drake Cutlass Red and Drake Cutlass Black and the 600i Touring. Most of these are interesting because, for starters, the 600i has a modularized core. Over time, you will be able to switch a Touring for an Explorer and an Explorer for a Touring. So it's kind of weird that they have a paint dedicated just to the 600i Touring. I would not be surprised if that works on both, at least in the future. Also, for the Drake Cutlass series, most paints, if not all paints for the Drake Cutlass series, work across the board. So if you get a paint in the basics for the Cutlass Black, it should work on the Drake Cutlass Red. If it does not, this will be the first time that I know of where they've delineated that much, especially for the Cutlass series and other ships. You can also see that because of the free fly going on right now, which is what all this guide work is supposed to be about, you can see a few ships for sale, including discounted starter packs down here. Out of these two, the 100i is a much better option. It's a little more money, but the 100i has infinite local fuel, and it still has the warp drive. Although the Aurora MR is no slouch, it's cheap, and it's a great starter ship, and it also has the ability to take a whole cargo container on the bottom of it. If you upgrade to the CL, I think it is. For like
just go $5. Avenger Titan.
Okay,
just
so
go
the
Avenger
Cutlass,
Titan. Spend
so
the extra
Drake
$15.
Black,
Get a Titan.
Dragonfly Black, the Avenger Titan, the Arrow. They're showing all these wonderful ships. The Cutlass Black, the iconic one, the Prospector, the Mercury Star Runner, and of course, now you see the weird part about this. There's no 600i. Like, it's really weird to have all these ships here, and they're here because they have paints. But they didn't put the 600i in the lineup.
Yeah, sloppy.
It's just, Like this event is kind of feels kind of thrown together. Discounted starter packs are never a bad thing, but notice they're only available till July 18. Why are they only available to July 18?
Wait. Are they throwing it together to get that revenue, to get that cheddar? Do they want that cheddar? Could it possibly be that Cloud Imperium wants to bring in more of that cash?